Hello, my name is Olivia Snyder. I'm a potter, painter, and maker. What's going on today? Today, we're all about making a risograph print. I've wanted to make one for years. I've been fascinated by the process, and I trekked on down to the Dallas Design District to learn how. So, what's a risograph print? A print made on a risograph machine, of course. Okay, I know that doesn't exactly explain the whole thing. When I tell folks who went to school in the mid-'80s and earlier, it's like a fancy mimeograph machine. They get it. Mimeograph machines were predecessors to toner-based copy machines. They were cheap and fun to use. Their brethren, spirit duplicators, also had alcohol-infused papers that produced a unique sweet smell that became a core memory for many school kids. For newer folks out there, not exposed to dinosaur-aged worksheets at school, a risograph machine is what's known as a stencil duplicator, or basically a really fancy screen printing machine. I'm visiting Soft Spots Press in Dallas. They're connected to the Lone Star Darkroom, a membership-oriented darkroom where you can develop and process your own film and photos. Right away, the place is clean and well organized. There's stark blacks and whites everywhere in the photographic portion of the building. Immediately in the back are tubes of risograph ink on a high shelf with various risograph prints peppering the wall with color. That's the section I'm more interested in at the moment. I sit down with Gino, one of the owners of Soft Spots Press, who gives me a brief history of risographs and asks what I know. I tell him I read in depth about the machines and their history, as well as having a heavy background in printmaking and graphic design. Rest assured, he was told, I do not mind duplicate information. I'm happy to learn about things from a different perspective. He seems happy. My images need to be separated into spot colors, assigned to the color of ink that I desire. Done, I say, and I whip out 2 black and white copies of my color separations. I've decided on blue and fluorescent pink. Unlike inkjet printers or color copiers, the machine that I will be using can only print one color at a time. Therefore, I must have any multicolored prints separated into their individual colors. This means I must have a black print of things I want to be pink and a black print of things I want to be blue. In areas where blue and pink will combine, I will see some variation of purple. Today, I'm going to be using the machine model SF5130, which only has one drum of ink. To print out an individual color, the machine needs to make a master. That is, it spools out a thin, permeable membrane coated with plastic. The machine burns away plastic from the areas I want ink to flow through. Boom! It's a little screen print. Gino shows me how to change out the drum, put my copy on the platen, and test my print. The risograph is such a Japanese machine. The designers carefully thought of everything, designed it with the intent of being able to neatly and intuitively adjust every single aspect of the print process. There's nothing useless on this machine. It's efficient and well crafted, and I immediately put it on my list of things I want to buy when I win the lottery. My pink prints start to fly out. I have been warned that embracing imperfections is one of the appealing aspects of a riso print. No worries, my man. I learned how to embrace imperfections in prints long ago. It's why I'm here in this room right now. I'm super pleased. We run off a few prints on scrap paper to make sure the color's right, positioning is correct, and so forth. I run a few different types of paper that I brought through the machine. Glossy paper cannot be run through. The soy-based ink just sits on top and can be wiped right off. Unsurprising, yet still kind of disappointing. I had brought some pearly sheen Star Dream paper to test, and alas, I am informed that it will fail miserably. My pink layer is done. It's time to change the drum to blue. Each drum is seated in a giant protective case. Out comes the pink, then blue is seated into the machine. Here's where all of the scrap prints come in handy. I can run them through and adjust the alignment. I'm expecting a little bit of off-kilterness, but not too much of that nonsense. And internally, I am squealing at how delightful it is that the paper can be minutely adjusted up, down, left, right for the correct alignment. My pink prints come shooting out of the machine with a fresh layer of blue. They're perfect. They have that scrubbly risograph look. Nothing is solid except for my thin lines. My blocks of pink and blue even managed to create some purple by overlapping, which is exactly what I was shooting for. Go me. I have to say, making risograph prints is fun. Holy cow, this is fun. It 100% scratches my itch for doing printmaking things, doing computer things, and making additions. There is definitely a unique look that the prints shooting out of the machine possess. I recall a lithograph run I did way back in college, which was, 5-10 years ago, right? Shut up. Anyway, it involved using progressively larger copies from a copy machine. That is, I copied the original at 110%, then copied the copy, then copied the copy, then copied the copy, and so forth. The final iteration of the copy was then copied to a photolithographic plate. Other iterations were included as well. If I recall correctly, the first image was a 1x1 grid from a sheet of graph paper. The result was an interesting organic shape that absolutely did not resemble the original. It's fun for me to reminisce about projects long past and then to discover remnants of them in a new-to-me process. The risograph does not make copies nearly perfect to the original. I'm not altering the image by changing the output size, but there's a definite removal from the original drawing by translating it into a machine-made screen print. It's just enough of disallowing control to embrace the machine's automata relics as part of the final product. I visited Soft Spots Press a second time since my initial visit to make a yellow and blue print. Upon returning home with my final product, I feel that I could have spent more time shimmying and jimmying and playing with the settings on how the final print interpreted different color gradients that I had put in. And unfortunately, this is a byproduct of my personal problem visiting the Dallas Design District. If I stay too late, I am doomed to rush hour traffic, which in Dallas starts at 4 p.m. There are also no nearby DART stations. I think the closest one is at Parkland, which kind of sucks, but such is life in the Metroplex. So that's my first experience in making and printing with a risograph copier. If you're in the DFW area, I recommend scheduling a visit to Soft Spots to learn about Riso. I've put a link to their website in the description. If you're interested in purchasing one of the Riso prints that I made, you can also visit my shop at fairyhive.com. Link also in description. I hope you have a magical day.